Welcome back to the Philly Escape podcast. Is that what it's called? I don't even remember. We just kind of jumped right in. I think it's episode 25. Could be 24. I don't remember, but I'm here with, Jackson
Me,
Belko,
Jackson.
you, and the better Joe. The other Joe who typically records our pods isn't here, so we had to find another producer named Joe.
You lose the Joe, you gain a Joe.
Any coincidence? Yes, he's just the better one. Anything you want to say to the fans for your very first podcast, Joe? Sure. So anything you want to say to your future self? It's kind of like Looper. We were just talking about Looper. Tell yourself something in the future. All right. Well, let's get right into the explicitives and just jump right in. We're here. We're excited because who's on our team now? It's crazy. It's insane. Is it true? Is it really true? Is it? I can't believe. I'm about to jump all over the place off the walls here because I'm still in disbelief that it actually happened. That we're actually at this point. Jackson, why don't you let the fans know? You've been excited enough to tell them what they want to hear.
You guys, we got to restart this. We blew it. We blew it with that intro. Let's be realistic here. Welcome back, guys. We got James Harden on the freaking Sixers.
Let's go.
Baby.
Let's go. Highlights are on the screen. Let's go.
Highlights on the screen. We got his 31 birthday plays for turning 31 years old in 2020. He's not 31 now, but he's on the Sixers. So who fucking cares? Let's go, baby.
We got ourselves a winner.
Escape Pod, episode 24, a Sports John.
Sports John. And what we're opening with is a closer, right? We finally got a closer on the 76ers. And what we're leaving behind is Ben Simmons is, by my terms, a loser, doesn't shoot. You're not going to hear anything from him, saying goodbye or thank yous because he's ready to go to Miami with the Nets to, what's he going to play? The very first game that, he's on the team. I don't even know. But yeah. We got a lot to dive into. So let's take a step back here. We got Jackson Belko, a normal podder.
And we're joined
myself
by Caputi.
And we're joined by the better Joe because apparently we can't have another producer not named Joe. So he's the better one.
Yeah. This week we're down Joe Brits. We're bringing in the better Joe because we needed extra people. We couldn't record the podcast without a Joe. And Austin's not here either. So we got 3 people today. We're talking Sixers. And I just want to say, what the hell do you guys think, man? We were in such a dark time as Sixers fans for so long with this Ben Simmons nonsense. First of all, he comes to the Sixers. He's supposed to be the next LeBron. He's not making any progress at all. He won't shoot in games. He's kind of like weird personality-wise when he's talking to the media. He's not like super like personable. He's like very dry, and he doesn't seem like he's got emotions when he's talking. And we're trying to convince ourselves that he's this great player, and it's not working. And then he decides he's not going to fucking play for us anymore. He's holding out. Didn't he spend like $19 million on fines this year just to not play for us, which is insane. And somehow we traded him for James Harden. What the fuck is going on, guys?
What happened? All those Daryl Morey haters, they can probably, get off their pedestal because this is what you wait for, right? As Kasparek put so eloquently. I wish you would have been on the show earlier. I think we needed you just for some of those drops. But we're going to get into some big things tonight. It's going to mostly be, obviously, the trade talks. We're going to start with that, spend the most time on that. Maybe go in a little bit of Eagles as they, look to go towards that draft as Howie, pulls some moves of his own. And then maybe we talk some predictions as far as the Super Bowl because it's the biggest Sunday coming up in the year. But yeah, so except for Easter, day of rest. But You're knocking me off my train of thought
Sunday
here.
Funday,
Here,
dude? What about Sunday
so
Funday?
so everybody's talking about these trades, about this trade specifically, right? And so what the people are saying, on the outside looking in, not dealing with all that crap that Jackson just laid out perfectly for us, is that the Nets, may have won this trade. But I want to know why. I
Dude,
want to know why
dude,
from
money.
Jackson as to why, people think. I think it's a win-win personally on both sides. I think it's a mutual trade. It's something that, benefits both teams. And I guess we'll see in the end who wins the championship, whether it's one of these teams or it's not either of these teams. But, I think Sixers are looking short term, whereas the Nets also looking long term. They had 3 shooters in Durant, Kyrie, and Harden, and now moving to Ben and gaining some defense, something that they never had. Also, Drummond, a nice guy stepping in to get rebounds and something again that they just haven't had. But Jackson, tell us why this is a trade that the Nets, people are looking at this as the Nets have a better grade. They kind of won this overall.
Well, I'm telling you, I think you just looked at one article that said they had a better grade because throughout like Reddit and everything that I've been looking at, most people have been saying that the Sixers won this trade. I think what the Sixers did was outstanding, and the fact that they traded Ben Simmons. Like first, before we get into it, let's just go over the trade. The Sixers today traded Ben
Probably should.
Simmons, Seth Curry, Andre Drummond, our first round pick for this year, and then our first round pick protected in 2027, and we got back
Right.
Paul Millsap and James Harden. To me, that was a huge return. The fact that like what was it literally a year and a half ago that the Nets traded for Harden, they gave up 5 first round picks or something, and
Yeah.
Jarrett Allen, and I think who else? I don't know. Somebody. I don't know.
And
They gave up so much
basically,
more than we gave up.
7 first-round picks that they basically couldn't control. There were some swaps mixed in there, but I think 5 that were actual
They gave,
first-round picks.
they literally gave
Forget
as
the
many picks as
details.
they could.
Just everything under the sun. And now
And
it's like,
we trade Ben Simmons, who's a fucking joke, from James Harden. That makes no sense to me.
yeah.
James Harden's one of the best players in the league, and you pair him up with Embiid. It's insane. It's literally going to be insane this season.
The best pairing that Embiid's probably going to have worked with in his career so far. Plus, again, you got to remember, Simmons isn't going to play for us. So he's kind of a lost cause when it comes to the Sixers. So I guess
He's never going to come back.
it's not going to happen. And he's already flying to Miami, for the Nets next game. So that wasn't going to happen. I mean,
Is he really already flying to Miami for the
he
the
is.
next game?
Yeah, no, he is. He's going with the team. There's
Wow.
reports on that. Get him out of here. Get him out of here.
Wait,
Um,
wait, incoming does bad for 3 games and then quits on the Nets, and he's like, I'm never playing basketball again.
no, I mean he's
And
a
I'm
guy.
done.
Again, we talked about him like, oh, coming into the league next for LeBron, right? This guy never wanted it. He just never wanted it. Whether it was started as a mental thing and then turned into him just not caring. He clearly doesn't care enough. Jackson, I told you this earlier. He's the type of guy who's going to go, play esports after this because basketball is his side job because he's just, 6'10" and he's just, he has the physical ability. But like he doesn't care enough to go to that next level, and he's not. Like Nets fans will see this very quickly. He won't care enough to progress to that next level, and that's something that we're just waiting for him to flip that switch, and he never did. So
What I think is crazy is that this situation was, you have to admit, pretty similar to the Carson Wentz situation, if not worse.
I
And
thought about this today. Yeah.
it's like, it's if, like, to me, Howie did a good job getting that first round pick for Carson Wentz. But this is like if we traded Carson Wentz for like Russell Wilson or Pat Mahomes. Yeah, this is if we traded Carson Wentz and like Miles Sanders for literally Pat
Yeah.
Mahomes. Like what this is,
Yeah.
it's absurd that this happens.
It's like sweeteners and like trading pieces to get a Hall of Famer. No, like I
It's
mean,
literally a Hall of Famer. I saw.
stated
Is
simply,
he
yeah.
like statistically like as good as Michael Jordan is at scoring?
That we're getting into details. I don't know if I want to jump down that hole because I
Don't jump down that hole, but I've heard that quoted. I think specifically from Maury.
from
He said,
Maury. So
and
listen,
I mean,
Harden's this guy. It's his guy.
here's see, I actually heard the same thing.
I don't
Yeah,
know what you guys are
that's
here.
what the street's saying, dude. So
Tasting the juice. Okay. All right. No, but it is similar to Carson, right? Because you have this guy who his play, deteriorate to, just it's a mental thing that deteriorates their play. And at the end of the year, these are two guys that don't want to take any accountability for it. And they're both silent this whole time, right? I mean,
they
difference with
both have
Ben,
that weird personality where they don't talk with emotion and they can't handle the criticism.
can't handle the criticism. I mean, they take no accountability. Maybe it's because they've gone their entire life without being accountable for everything. It's silver spoon, everything been handed to you type of lives that they had. With Carson, he was completely like radio silent. With Ben, it's kind of like you hear these talks of like all these different excuses. That's clearly all BS now because he's ready to play. I think that's what hurts me the most personally. You use the whole mental health issue thing as an excuse, and it's like it's not something to play around with.
And
I take a lot of issue with it.
hey,
Yeah, yeah,
well, here's the
yeah,
situation. It's like he plays the mental health card so that we can't criticize him for
yeah,
playing like, for being out without sounding like an asshole. And now we're at the point where we know for sure because he's immediately playing for the Nets that
yeah.
it was all a fucking we were all right. He was just fucking using it as an excuse.
Right.
He was being a fucking dickhead.
So that
He's
in
gonna face some
itself,
serious backlash.
is a loser in my eyes through and through. I'm glad he's not a 76er, not a guy that I have to root for.
Oh yeah, he's an
Yeah,
did you guys hear what he said in that article? Because we haven't spoken on here about Simmons in a while, I don't think.
yeah,
That whole thing that he had with, Shaq recently where Shaq
yeah,
was, like,
yeah,
calling him out, like, he's messing up the money and everything, and he's being such a dickhead,
yeah.
and Shaq called him out, and then he went in his DMs and, like, got angry. What a freaking baby, I'm so glad he's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, probably, dude.
Learn from the best.
I mean,
No,
he didn't
yeah.
get enough, clue in from Colangelo, dude.
No, I mean, how frustrating is it for a guy like Shaq who like built up the platform for players like Ben and for him just to cry like a baby and tear it all apart? Like
Not
it's
only not only that though, like, Shaq and, Barkley have, like, criticized Embiid and watched him grow because, like, they've criticized him. And then they criticize Ben and he starts crying. It's disappointing.
It's a perfect comparison to see how you handle, your criticism. Do you take it and turn it into something like Embiid has time and time? I mean, Kelsey gave Simmons the playbook. Just play. Just play well. They will love you. And that's what we've always done even when he's played bad. And
Yeah.
now it's and
Yeah, just
yeah. Yeah.
and TJ
Yeah. No, a
TJ
guy
wasn't
who's
athletically gifted or, like, anything
limited
like that.
talent wise, but like gives his heart on the court, blood and soul. No, and like yeah, and he'll like be forever treasured. I mean, even Kelsey, right? Okay, granted, he'll probably be a Hall of Fame player. Was never that player his entire career. Was always the smallest. Was always told he couldn't do it. All that kind of thing. And the way he played his heart out, puts his body on the line at his age, the way he does now, the kind of emotion he carries in Philly, he's a Philly guy. I mean, you know,
Even like
um,
even like something like Toby. I feel like Toby's on the worst contract imaginable, and you'd expect everybody to hate him. But if you ask most Philly fans, they'll tell you that they love Toby. They just hate his contract. Like he's out there and he's giving it his all every game. Like I feel like, and we support him still. So I don't know. I just think the fact
yeah,
that he refused to try, it's just I don't know if we would ever accepted him again. It would have been awkward.
it's the accountability thing is huge for me. Like if you can just own it, own, your mistakes. Like with Rieger, it's kind of like a similar situation. Like bad pick at that spot. It's not technically Rieger's fault that he was picked as a first round pick. That's not the talent level that he clearly should live up to. That's a Howie Roseman thing. But the guy, he makes that horrible mistake on that punt that we all remember, and all you see is his face.
Hmm.
Like, dude, just own it. Just own it. We will get it. And leave it up to the coaches who should put the players and the GM who should pick the players at the right spot, put the players in the right place. We'll critique them for that. But if you just own your mistakes, own, the thing, Carson, again, silence, and still to this day on the Colts, when they have a loss, the press conference is all, we got to do better. He's never saying like, I did this wrong and I'm going to fix it by doing this. It's never specifics, details, anything. And Ben's the same way, but it's the world revolves around them, and they don't have to do anything to change their game. They're perfect
It,
the way they are.
but you know what? Is the beautiful thing about this whole thing is that we don't have to give a fuck about Ben Simmons anymore.
About
Fuck him,
any of
dude.
those
He's
two.
gone. We've
So
got a player who is so much better than he'll ever be now. We've got Joel Embiid, who's playing the best basketball in the fucking entire NBA. And
word
it's
up.
we lost Seth Curry, but it's pretty much like we're just replacing Seth Curry in our starting lineup with Harden, which is mind blowing how good that's going to be. And obviously, it sucks to lose Drummond, but I don't know. I think the upgrade of from Seth to Harden in our starting lineup is bigger than the downgrade of Millsap, of like Drummond to Millsap, and
Millsap.
like our entire team can space it now. Um, obviously, obviously our whole team could before, but I think Millsap, he's old as hell. He is definitely aging. We might need to pick up a free agent, but like he can shoot the ball from three,
Yeah.
um, unlike Drummond could. I don't know. This is insane. I think we have to appreciate it. We haven't even really gotten to talk about Embiid recently because we haven't been on the podcast as much during this insane streak that he's been going on. But he's
Yeah.
absolutely unstoppable. I feel like he gets in the paint and he does what he wants. If he can't get in the paint, his mid-range game looks like he's like Michael Jordan or KD. Like his mid-range game
Yeah.
is like literally on the same level as KD right now. And then he's shooting over 40% from three. He can do anything on all. He can score onto you like at a super high level from any area on the court. He's amazing at defense. The fact that we have somebody like Harden who can now play like pick and roll with him, which he's never been able to do, and who can be like as big of a threat as him, I think I don't even think we understand how much better this team is going to be. I don't know. I think we should get extremely excited.
No, I mean now's the time. And for the people who are, I think, worried about the Seth Curry, and Drummond loss going to the Nets, you can always think about it this way. Would you rather it been Matisse or Maxi? It was, let's be clear. It was never going to be Maxi. I think that was pretty clear. There was never talks, anything. 76ers stood pretty firm on that. I was thinking, maybe Thibault would be the thing that would swing it to make the trade happen. But to walk away with both of those guys and get Harden, this is going to be dangerous. So now that Ben is gone, why spend time on his loser ass anymore?
Yeah, that's what I'm
Let's
saying. Forget about him, dude. Who cares?
let's talk about the guys that are here now. What does your starting lineup look like
So
with these
obviously,
additions?
we've got Maxi at point guard, Harden at shooting guard. We've got Embiid at center, obviously. Those three are insane. Toby at power forward. I think Toby as the fourth option with like two absolute studs and somebody like Harden who can actually give him the ball now,
Yeah.
and allow him to sort of shoot, like not think about what he's doing and just act quickly and score like he was doing last season. I think that's going to improve his game. I think he's going to maybe return to form with this. And I guess the big question is just that forward spot. Do you put Thibault in there? Do you put Danny Green in there? I kind of went with Thibault in there, right?
I think I go with Thibault purely because when you have that much offense, I think you can live with like a zero offense guy who's purely defense.
Yeah,
Um,
and like
in
I think
Thibault,
we'll have enough offense to, yeah, definitely make up for his lack.
I mean, between Harden, Embiid, and Tobias, maybe you're missing that outside shooter. You kind of hope that, I mean, that Danny Green isn't Seth Curry, which sucks. But then again, it's kind of nice because he can step up defensively, in some cases. He's no Thibault. I mean, and Seth Curry wasn't a defensive player at the same time. So I feel like it's a good mix of players that could gel really well.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
honestly, we could even just put Korkmaz in there or somebody like that. Just somebody who can shoot the three. I don't know if Korkmaz is the answer. I mean, Korkmaz is kind of sucks sometimes. He's hit or miss. But like,
yeah,
I don't know. Maybe it is beneficial to have Danny Green in there. Then everybody on the court can shoot the three. Because every single one of them can shoot. Harden's a fucking sniper.
yeah. No, I mean he's the guy that we've been missing, that closer that Whereas Embiid, he's kind of getting tired at the end. Just mix it up,
Yeah.
get to eat at the end. Let's close it out. Um, I can't wait for March 10th. I'll say that much. Um, it's gonna be a good time.
do
Can't wait.
you do
Um,
you think he's gonna play?
he'll play. I don't know. It might be psyched out.
He might be. He might have mental
Might
health
be
issues.
psyched out. It'd be a convenient time to have health issues that day, wouldn't
Yeah,
it?
real convenient. Like this entire past 5 months.
So so
It's
we're
I just want to ask, does anybody else feel like this is a dream? This is mind-blowing to me that this happened. I've wanted James Harden for like 5
well,
years,
I
and the
mean,
fact that
that's
we got
that's
him.
the thing, right? It's like when do we ever get the guy? Like the guy. Like I remember talks about LeBron and how exciting that was, but that felt like a
You knew in your
fever.
head it's never gonna happen.
That felt way too far out. And then there was like Clay, and then you just know like it's just not happening. Like
Kawhi, people really wanted Kawhi. We thought we could get him.
we thought
And
we had a chance.
we get
Even
Butler, but then Butler leaves.
right. I think I know you
It was
didn't,
LeBron twice,
Jackson,
honestly.
but maybe even me, was definitely a person who might have took Butler for granted because I know we were in that position where it's like, all right, it's Butler or basically what like Tobias, goes
Yeah, I
or
mean, Butler was so much better.
um. I mean, hindsight, obviously,
I
what a
think maybe you just
terrible
weren't
way
watching
to
enough
go.
back then, dude. It was
Well,
clear Butler was the stud.
n-
The
no, 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 no.
the headband era
That
with
another level.
Mike Scott, Ben Simmons,
But I thought the
and Butler with the
conversation
headbands.
I thought the conversation was more Ben or Butler leaving. So that's
No,
what
no.
okay.
At
So
the
I
time,
mean, I was always for Butler over Tobias is
yeah, that was the situation, and then they
that's
just
what it
messed
came
it
down
up.
to. Yeah.
It was poorly managed. But the thing
But
is, I feel like
yeah.
I don't know. Who cares? We're past it. We got our
We're here
spot, dude.
now. So what are some of the are there any things I mean, there's not much to worry about. This is a happy day. But are there any things that you do worry about with this different dynamic of Harden and Embiid? Do you play it a little bit differently in the lineups as far as putting those two together? Maybe taking some time to give Embiid some rest to, have Harden take over and kind of control the game when you don't need,
I
Embiid
mean,
to carry the
I
entire game.
definitely think it would. I definitely think it would allow Embiid to rest more, having Harden. Just to
Yeah,
kind of carry the load when he's not on there. Because like throughout all the Sixers timeline, it's been you score a bunch when Embiid's on the court, and then you start losing your lead when he's off. And this kind of does like allow us to be able to rest him without like for sure losing our lead.
losing that lead.
I think,
Especially, yeah, there's 20-point leads at the end against the Hawks. I don't think you
yeah,
have to worry about things like that anymore.
they'll actually shoot it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Shoot.
And my question is, and he's actually gonna be living at the free throw line. He wants to get to the free throw line. Like him and Embiid are the same. I feel like
Yeah.
don't you guys think that Embiid sort of modeled his ability to draw fouls off of Harden? I think he was at least
I
inspired by
mean,
it.
if there's anybody, they're probably pretty close.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
I want to ask, do you guys think that we are legit contenders at this point?
100%. Absolutely.
I think
I
we're in for
mean
a wild ride this summer.
I mean, I get after the All-Star game, that's where teams kinda turn it up, but, I mean, we are, what, 2.5 games back from the 1st seed, and that was without Harden.
Mhm.
So, get some time for chemistry. I mean, so what? You're losing Seth and Drummond, so you're maybe, as that second kind of role player to stepping in after Embiid comes out for rebounds and defensively, you lose that, yes, but like you said, you kind of pick somebody up to, fill his place.
Yeah, I
Um,
think we'll definitely sign somebody before the playoffs start.
maybe you miss Seth's
Buyout
shooting,
maybe.
but the way that Maxi's grown And, Harden stepping in again, like as you said, Jackson, like him, if you just think of him replacing Seth, I mean, like there's no comparison. Like it's just, I don't know. There's just too much to get
It's
excited
insane.
about.
Yeah,
A
because like
lot would have to
literally
be go
Simmons wasn't
wrong.
coming back.
If anything, yes, like it's a little bit of time for Harden to come back, into form maybe, and maybe you're worried about the hamstring issues that he's dealt with.
So I think
Um,
the hamstring issue
but
that he was like, I understand he's not informed, but like I think the reason he was missing these games was just for the trade, right?
I think so too. I feel like it's man, I'd like to think it was because of that and not because of actual true reasons that he
No,
didn't want to be there.
I
He
really
said he
think
wanted to be in Philly. I mean, like he said that.
yeah. I'm
So
excited. What I'm stoked for is the press conference. I want to see what everybody's saying because it's the shit talking is free to fly at this point. Did you guys see what Embiid posted on his Twitter as soon as it
yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
of the guy who
yeah.
like went to his fucking enemy's funeral just to make sure he's dead or whatever? Embiid must
I
hate
ugh,
Simmons,
I
man.
can't wait for the showdown. And now he can like actively like openly say it, say it,
Yeah.
He's not on the team anymore. So he can like, oh
Like,
man.
that was not
He's like, screw that
good.
guy. Well, he
Yeah.
made he
Wait,
made a
look at this.
comment. What? Oh yeah. No, that's the shot you need. That's what
That's
you
what we
need.
need.
You think Simmons would ever do that in his career? Give me a break.
Never.
Um,
Probably never in his career will do that.
Jojo made a comment about, and I think this was probably, I mean, alluding to like Maxi and his maturity and just that he doesn't have to babysit with this team, with the current players. And obviously Simmons hasn't been playing, so I feel like that was one, a jab at Simmons, but two, look at where we're at. No more babies here, no more
Yeah,
babies
no,
allowed.
we're like, if he was playing, we'd be maybe, like, 1 or 2 games better. Maybe not,
Yeah.
it he dug his own grave, and now he's gotta deal with it. He
Listen,
ruined his entire reputation.
only thing
Do you
you can credit Simmons with is his defense. Otherwise, he's a terrible human being and he can't shoot for shit. So as far as I'm concerned, he can go kick rocks. Look at his shooting chart. We can bring it back 5, 10 episodes on the Philly Escape podcast, where his shooting chart against the Hawks was what, 2 feet from the freaking basket, and he missed what, you know, 70% of those shots.
he's
In
dumb as a
addition to
box of rocks, dude.
he can kick them and he's as dumb as them. I'm over him. Um, how much is this is a Harden love fest as opposed to a Simmons hate fest right now? I don't know. I just it's just a great day. It's just a great day. There's so many wins. There's so many wins on the board right now. I feel like when Jameis Winston, I could eat a couple.
Yeah, eat a couple
Um,
dubs, dude. That's what we gotta do.
um, all right. Anything, we're gonna keep this going, keep the momentum going. Anything on the Sixers we want to keep talking about before we turn to the
Well,
bird?
okay. I have a couple things I wanna mention. First, I wanna hear what you guys think of the fact that, like, I always felt like the whole narrative the whole time was, like, it started with, "You gotta trade him right away this summer for just whatever you can get." And then people were like, "Well, his value's ruined, now you can't get anything for him." And
No.
it just was so bad for so long, and people were like, "You're never gonna get anything for him." And it felt like the gun was pointed at us, and we had to make a move for somebody bad. And I don't understand how, like, Morey flipped the situation around on the Nets, like, making them think that they were the ones who had to make the deal. They could have easily kept Harden, dealt with the situation with Kyrie. Like, KD would have came back, they would have started winning games, and Harden would have been happy, and they could have kept their big three, and it would have been fine. But somehow Morey convinced them that they needed to trade Harden to us right now, even though we were the ones that needed to trade Simmons right now because we didn't want to waste this year of Embiid's career. I don't understand how he persuaded them or tricked them into that, but it's just mind-boggling to me. I wanted to see what you guys thought about that.
Well, I guess he flipped, and I'll go to Kasprak in a second, but I guess he flipped the script and pointed the gun at them and saying, Harden's going to walk away. He clearly wants to come to us, and we're okay with sitting and waiting till the summer, and maybe losing this year to be able to sign Harden and not lose anything from it. So it's either you can let that happen and live with that, and be the worst defensive team, with this much offensive firepower going into the playoffs and
Mhm.
dealing with a Harden who's in and out, Kyrie's in and out, he's kind of unsure, or you can get all this defensive prowess now, here and now, um, and they can kind of offload the idea of not having to pay Harden 270 million for 5 years and as an extension next year. So I feel like they flipped the gun with the timing of it. It had to happen now because look what you not as much of what you're losing in Harden, but look at what you could potentially get that you won't get if you just let this go.
I agree.
So
I think though it was like a big balls bluff, and he fucking pulled it off.
yeah,
He called it.
I mean, you're right though because the Sixers are thinking short term, and we needed this more than the Nets did. I think
Yeah, we did.
I I
100%
told
we
I
needed this more than
I
the Nets
totally
did.
I totally agree because I mean, as much as they have Durant and Kyrie, it's like they have the future. They have it's not like
They have
they're
3 superstars, and last year people were begging to sign with them, like, just to help them out to be on, like, a championship squad. They coulda easily done that again.
the key thing with this was the Embiid timeline all along,
Yeah.
and we're thinking what like a three-year window where he's playing to this level like MVP
We
40
hope longer than that,
50.
but, you know,
We hope, but this is how we're kind of. I mean, that's kind of like the lens that we're looking through, and from that point of view, the way I thought about this, because everybody, the trade talks were always like, all right, how much do we give? Like at the end of the day, if it comes to it, do we give up Maxi? I eventually drew the line at I didn't want to give up Maxi, but I would give up Thibault if that's what it took to get a Harden
mhm,
to
yeah.
be able to get a championship. That's kind of where I got to, just because you need that culture, and I think like Maxi is that spark and becoming that scorer too. So as far as like your
We need that
offense,
3rd star, dude.
I,
That's
I
Maxey.
I feel like you need that guy, and I feel like he can step up into that role. Um, but yeah, I feel like we needed this more than the Nets needed it because they're okay. They walk away with Harden. Yeah, they don't have to pay his contract. Maybe they don't have the defense, but at the end of the day, they still have Kyrie and Durant, and
And what I think is cool is I think that back in the day, when we drafted Markelle Fultz, everybody was saying that he would be the perfect pairing with Embiid because he could one day grow to be sort of like James Harden. We got James Harden now,
how about
and
you just
which
get the
is
name?
insane. What?
Just get the name.
Yeah, we
Forget
got the
about
name,
who they become. Let's get
and
the
not
guy
only
that we want them to become.
exactly, which is insane. It's like a dream come true, I feel like. But then I feel like James Harden's game, I know everybody's scared of him being old, but he doesn't play in, I think, a super athletic way. He's more like, I think, herky jerky, finesse, and skill, and like like he's got like a little bit of trickery involved in his passing and stuff. I don't know. I don't think his game's gonna decline with age as quickly as somebody who's like super athletic, and so I don't think we really need to be worried about his age as much. I think he's probably gonna play for the next 5 or 6 years at like a high level.
Yeah,
He's only 32. He's not like 36 or 37 like LeBron or
yeah.
Chris Paul or somebody like that. He's not like super old. We
I
got the
mean,
name. We
what?
got him in his prime.
Yeah, I mean, what? I mean, who would turn away like 3 great years of Harden and maybe like two as he start as like a downturn? Like, I mean, and
Mhm.
it's probably not even that bad. I mean, he's still been what averaging 10 assists, um, you
22
know,
points,
22 points
8 rebounds, I think.
as of right now, and that's with Kyrie, and Durant. So like
That's on a team
with
with no spacing, no
N
help.
now, just the spacing that he's gonna give, pull the attention away from Embiid. Embiid
Well,
doesn't have to get
not only that,
triple teamed now,
he's gonna give Embiid spacing, but Embiid's gonna give him spacing.
and it's like, yeah, no, it's a double-edged sword for any team out there, like, so, no, I agree, I think, we need this more, we're thinking short term, we want the championship, even if it's one championship, it will have been worth it because this is what we've been shooting for, um, but what do you think, Kasparov? What do you think on that as far as, you know, how he wheeled and dealt?
That unvaccinated dumbass.
If the earth isn't flat. Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Well
Yeah,
well,
the
yeah.
it's Maury's world, and we're just living in it.
Yeah, no, I mean, and now no, I've already heard it now. It's the, "Oh, well, it shoulda got done sooner." No, the timing is what kind of forced the Nets' hand here in, like, making it happen. I mean, there's a reason why it happened at 1 o'clock, with the 3 o'clock deadline, that so and you also gotta remember, I know this is kinda stretching it, but it's almost like turning Richardson into Curry
Yeah,
and then using
literally,
that in a trading piece to get Harden. So
it's
think about what you had.
literally what Morey did. He said he traded Ben Simmons. He traded Josh Richardson because he just traded Josh Richardson for Seth Curry. So we got Seth Curry for a few years, but basically traded Josh Richardson. And we signed like we literally just signed Drummond on the waiver or like on
Right.
in free agency for the vet min. So we traded a vet min, Josh Richardson, and Ben Simmons, who wasn't playing for us, for James Harden and Paul Millsap, which is absurd.
Right. I think we just got so attached because of what those players became for our team. But remember, like, if you go back to a year ago, I mean, we really love Curry still at that point. Like, he was really showing a lot of starting to show that promise, and even especially in playoffs too. But like, you know, Drummond was Dwight Howard at that point. It was like, Ty Maxey wasn't in full form, but now look at what he's become and like what that's given us. Like,
Wh- wh- Yeah, think about it. It's like he inherited the team where we had Horford signed to a long-term big deal. We
forgot about
had
that one too.
we had Richardson signed long-term, and we had Simmons and Tobias who were kind of a little bit iffy. And he ends up turning Richardson and Simmons into Harden. He drafts Maxey, who's a freaking stud, and he takes and he offloads Horford off of our books. It's
Yeah.
like if he ends up somehow clearing Tobias off of our caps space somehow and signing like a crazy free agent this summer, it's gonna be like because that could happen. We have Embiid
Yeah.
and Harden now. People are
That's
gonna want to come here and create another big three, and I think he could do it. He was saying
that's the next
like
conversation. Yep.
yeah, and like you said, Caputi, it's all about the timing. He kept saying the entire time, just wait. Eventually, a big star is going to become
Yep.
available. That's when we're going to do the deal. We're not going to settle for less. And that's exactly what he did. He's a fucking
Right.
legend.
Because he knew what Ben Simmons' value was, and it's like,
He wasn't
that
going to let people undervalue him.
he wasn't gonna let Elton Brand screw the process that that much more. It's like we the process set us up with all that value, and you can't just throw it away for scraps. And
No,
so, like, that's what he ensured, didn't happen. And I'm like so thankful that it's like, all right, all those years of waiting and patience, he didn't we just waited a little bit longer, just to finally get what we needed
this was literally, I feel like 7 or 8 years of
in the
building for
making.
this moment right here.
I
This
mean,
is it. This is the big move.
this is the moment, and if you don't do it now, it's kind of like, you know,
Which is it's crazy because at certain points it felt like we had already made the big move or we were never going to be able to make a big move or make another big move. This is
yeah,
uh we're blessed. We're blessed. We're blessed by Maury.
just yeah, and not a bad move that he's made, really to this point. Um,
Now
so
I
now's the time for it all to come together.
I think we yeah, like I said earlier, we're in for a wild summer. Um I think obviously, it sucks we can't get excited for the draft, but I don't think we're gonna be too upset about that. We're gonna have a huge playoff run. Hopefully it goes good and we have an exciting summer in free agency, Who knows though?
Yep.
You gotta hope, fingers crossed. I don't even want to
Yeah,
say it, but like fingers crossed
gotta
Embiid
hope.
doesn't tear his ACL, which turns Harden against the team and forces him to walk, and then we're doomed next year.
Well, that's how I always thought about it too. Like, if you at least get Ben, like Ben doesn't want to be here, so we kind of lose that leverage when that kind of guy when he doesn't want to be here, right?
Mhm.
Always my thought with this too was like, if you get Harden, I feel like that's almost a better trading piece if he wants to go somewhere else. I don't know.
A
Maybe
signing
that's
trade or something with him or
maybe
something.
that's a stretch, but at least you have like Harden now as a
Yeah,
trading piece as opposed to Ben, which I think has much more value than Ben.
yeah,
As it stands on its own, like, I don't think there's a question there. So that's how I always looked at it too. Like, okay, if it doesn't work out with Harden, I rather, like, you got more value back. And if you like try to shade, throw up. Forget about the Curry, Drummond picks kind of thing, which I know it's not easy, but you get a lot of value back that you can potentially turn into something. Again,
You got to
you
give something to
almost
get something.
almost think process minded. If you need to turn it again, you're kind of in a good spot to do so.
Yeah, and the further you look back, the crazier this trade looks. Like how good it is. I feel
Yeah.
like you trace the moves. It's just mind
So
blowing.
now it just comes down to results. So whoever walks away with the trophy at the end of the day, I think is looking at, it could be both teams. Like, I mean, it could be us now and then the Nets in the future.
Yeah,
Um,
I
kind
don't
of
think
work.
so though. I think the Nets are doomed. I don't think.
I just hope they crumble and fall into pieces, and the Nets just
Th-
throw
yeah, like
tomatoes at Simmons.
their team's worse this year than it was last year, so I think they're doomed.
Yeah,
Um, I think. Do you want to get into the Eagles next week instead?
yeah. Let's go to them next week. I think we can probably close with this Super Bowl and
Yeah,
what we
let's
expect
talk
to
about the
see.
Super Bowl a little bit.
Because we're here. Get your chicken wings, number one party food for the Super Bowl, based on polls. Um,
I want some.
but
You know what I want? I want some Philly cheesesteak egg rolls. That's what I want.
oh, at my wedding one day, that'll be a top hors d'oeuvre for sure. That's the
True.
best. That and bacon wrapped scallops.
Oh hell
Can't get
yeah,
better
dude!
than that. Best ones. Um,
I'll be. Find me at the buffet, dude.
fried wontons. Me and Eric were talking about this though. You know what sucks? At your own wedding, I feel like the people getting married don't actually get to try like all the stuff, like the hors
Yeah,
d'oeuvres,
right.
and, like so
I don't.
like if no, we're not having it if we don't get to try it. So we're screwing everybody else over. Yeah. No,
Yeah,
well,
you can do what you want. It's your wedding.
we're gonna tell the waitresses, waiters to come directly to us first. That's the plan. Um, but no, let's talk about the Super Bowl Sunday. It's really hard for me, guys, to pick one of these teams because it's like I always look. It's so hard,
Yeah, it's very easy for me too. I would say I was gonna ask though,
bro.
what do you guys think about the two? Yeah, like what do you guys think about the journey and everything? Like I agree, I think.
Yeah, I'm sick of the Brady. I'm sick of the yeah. No, I totally agree.
It's the
Um,
young guy, it's the newcomer. It's two newcomers to the Super Bowl, basically. Well, not really new, I guess the Rams, but
new to Stafford though. Like
yeah, OBJ's in it, you know?
yeah, no, it's true. It's true. I actually don't, Cashback. I don't know what you mean by obvious because I really don't because I would love for Stafford to get his, like that would be amazing. But at the same time, Burrow is such a badass, and I love this kid so much. It's like how do you not root for him?
That's
And the Bengals like fans like
yes. Dude, we're I
uh,
think me and Casper are both 100% on the Bengals train, right?
yeah, no, that's what I guessed.
It's
Yeah, the
yeah,
first
right?
year.
Makes sense.
Um, oh yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Oh yeah, that soul
never
came
forget, dude.
back the minute he laid eyes on that tweet. Oh my god. Oh my
I just
god.
for me, it's just that Joe Burrow is an absolute badass. I think he's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
He
mean,
was the one that sent you over today, right?
beats the Chiefs down at in Chiefs territory. Like I and with that offensive line, like this kid is coming off of an ACL tear of all things. Like to go from zero to hero for the have the Bengals been in the playoffs in 20 years? I think they had the longest drought other than the Lions, maybe.
No,
Like
they were in the playoffs. They just haven't won a playoff
or
game since the '80s.
haven't won. Okay, but at the same time, no, I'm definitely sitting more Bengals, but just because the Rams have been in the Super Bowl, but you got to give credit to McVay to take Jared Goff and rejuvenate Stafford's career to go to the Super Bowl two times in the past since 2019 in the past 3 years. Like that's insane. Like
Dude,
Bravo
I
to
feel
that
like
guy.
yeah, I feel like
Like,
this is one of the rare cases where no matter who wins the Super Bowl, I'm gonna be happy. I like both teams a lot.
yeah, I'm gonna be super happy because then what makes it hard? Because then you think, oh man, Cooper Cup, oh man, Aaron Donald, like these are the guys who deserve it more than anybody.
Jalen
But
Ramsey, it's like
it's
it,
yeah, oh my god.
Jamar Chase won me like $600 in fantasy,
Oh,
so I gotta root for my boy.
no wonder where your roots lie. Okay, okay.
Uh,
Listen, I guess the same thing, same token, like whoever wins it, I'm happy it's not Brady. And like I could take a break from like Mahomes, I guess. But I love Mahomes. He's gonna get his eventually anyway. So it's kind of like if anybody else I would have wanted to be there in the Super Bowl, it would have been Josh Allen. But
yeah, I can see that.
I don't know if I would have wanted any other team. Like I really don't need Aaron Rodgers there. Really don't. Not like I'm o- I'm I'm over the olds. I'm over the olds in with the new. That's kind of
I
where
do
I
like the
sit with it.
Titans a little bit, but not as much as the Bengals.
I like the Titans. It's just like, yeah, Derrick Henry deserves it more than anybody. I can tell you that. And just like Tannehill's like storyline has been like super fun to watch him like
Yeah.
second phase of his career.
Yeah, like from the NFC, I don't know who I would have wanted besides the Rams. Like I didn't want the Bucks to go. Um,
Yeah, Jimmy G is just kind of
Jimmy,
I don't know.
it's for some reason for me, I've just never liked the 49ers. I don't know what it is
I don't like
about him.
Jimmy G. I
Just
love
like 'em.
Debo. That's I'm hating on him.
Actually,
I don't
I
know.
actually like Jimmy G and I like Debo and I like Ayuk. I like all their team. I just for some
I
reason I don't
love
like the 49ers.
I love Debo. I don't know. Jimmy G steers me the wrong way for some reason.
He's
I
not
don't know
bad.
why. He's not.
He's not
I
great.
mean,
He's not bad.
yeah, I don't know. Obviously, yeah. Care less about the Bucks. Didn't need another one from Brady. Didn't want him to retire. Didn't think he was gonna retire. Don't think he
Yeah.
still will next year. Um,
Obviously, didn't want the Saints
no,
or the
that's
Cowboys to win. So it was either us or the Rams. So we got an
was
ideal scenario.
yeah, no, but I mean, probably the best playoff games that we could have seen in the divisional round, but
Oh my god,
um,
mind blowing.
been crazy. Um, what do you guys got on scores? What do you think? Blow it? Do you think it's
Ooh,
like a battle, or do you think it's
I do
a
think it's a battle.
low score?
High score.
Okay,
Really.
that's man. I don't know where I would sit on that. These are both pretty pass dominant, but but each team's running game has been pretty decent too. It's hard to I don't know go the over or under. I don't know. I don't know. Just
I think
saying
it.
words.
I think it's going to be an insane game, and it's going to end 43-47 in overtime.
Oh my
In
god.
overtime,
Oh my
the
god.
I think that the Rams are going to win the coin
Jesus.
toss. They're going to kick a field goal, and then the Bengals are going to get it, and T Higgins is going to catch it for a touchdown.
Just T Higgins for
T
that
Higgins
40.
is going to catch it, obviously from Joe Burrow, and they're going to win 43-47.
Okay, he's
It's going
gonna
to
be
be
the winning
tied
touchdown.
40-40 going in.
Oh, what Joe?
Don't give the
Sleeping
Rams the
Joe.
game plan, dude.
Oh my god.
Or
Um,
actually, what's the yeah? All right, can you even get 40 points? I feel like that was a dumb number that I gave out.
you you can get any points. Yeah, you can get any set of points,
I'm gonna
but
say
is
it's
it
tied
likely?
42-42 going into overtime, and maybe I'll say 47 or 45-49. 45-49 is what I'm going
Well,
with.
that's good because
I'm updating it.
if we go into overtime, then Wild Wings is giving every person, who comes in 6 free wings. So,
Well, hey, you heard it here, guys. First, make
you
sure you
heard
head
it
over to
here.
Wild Wings because you're gonna get those free wings.
Not sponsored,
Yeah,
not sponsored.
maybe though.
Um, but I don't know. I don't even know. 33-33 overtime, and Joe Burrow about to get sacked,
Uh,
tosses it up to his man, Jamar Chase. Yeah, he
Ooh.
gets it for the winning touchdown for sure.
40-37 or
This could be a lot.
40-33.
Could be a
I
lot
like
of
it.
field goals though, because you got some really good kickers on both sides.
Yeah, there you go.
It's the best, the best. I don't know. I don't know. I guess I'm all footballed out. I guess.
Yeah, it stinks after the
Yeah.
Eagles lost like that, but it is what it is. I'm just gonna enjoy the Super Bowl, get
Eat your
really
wings.
stuffed. Yeah, on some I don't know. Maybe I'll get a cheesesteak. Maybe I'll get some cheesesteak egg rolls.
Yeah, what
Um,
are you gonna dip your cheesesteak in the ketchup, or are you gonna put the ketchup on the cheesesteak?
Ketchup on the cheesesteak, egg rolls
Okay.
in the ketchup.
I think it was Brits who said he's a dipper
Yeah,
with
he
the
did. Which
yeah. Okay.
scoop.
Uh, mayo. I will. It was I think it was Jackson who said mayo is disgusting.
Yeah, I'm
So
I'm
yep.
anti-mayo. I'm anti-mayo.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I had a perfect Wawa turkey sandwich today with mayo. It's delicious.
I get turkey sandwiches from Wawa like twice a week. No mayo.
Not not dry. Not dry. I like to spice up my life a little bit, so
I go dry. Yeah, I don't know.
yeah.
I think that's an ironic
All right, well,
statement
what do you
too.
guys put on it? What do you guys put on it that
I
spices
get
it up so much?
I get turkey.
Hot
I
peppers?
get American cheese. I get lettuce.
Oh,
I get
yeah.
onions.
Yeah,
I get salt,
real
pepper,
sexy.
and oregano.
Of course, yeah.
I don't know. Dude, I get other sandwiches like spiced up. I just like a plain turkey sub. You know,
Alright, alright. You got a
silly.
prediction, Casprack, on this game or not? Okay, divide by 2. Alright.
Tied. It's gonna be tied. 28-28.
Yeah, they're gonna end it on the tie. Just
What would
keeps
happen if
going.
the Super Bowl ended in a tie?
They would keep playing. There's no way.
They would? By rules, it ends
Yeah.
after overtime, right? There would be a second overtime, I guess?
They'd have to keep going. Yep. Alright.
Damn right.
Well, let's close shop there. Harden's here. Ben is gone. Enjoy the Super Bowl and eat those wings. Dip those cheesesteaks and get some extra mayo stocked up for me when I come over.
Make
Uh,
sure to go to Chicky and Pete's because they're gonna have 2 overtimes, so you're probably gonna get twice
the crab
the
fries.
free buffalo wings.
Right.
Crab fry.
You said Chicky and Pete's. You said the wrong restaurant. Oh well.
No. I meant
Oh
Buffalo
well.
Wild Wings.
All
The
right.
the fans know what
We're
I'm talking about. The fans know what I'm talking about.
all
They know
right.
what I'm talking about.
Brit's gone. Casprack here. Burrow's the man. Signing out. Peace. Have a good
We
Super
love
Bowl
Harden.
someday.
This pod has officially landed.